Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Ayman Sahib. So in this video I wanted to share with you guys a comic strip which I made over the weekend. The title of my comic book is Unbounded. This is a story which has been with me for a really long time and I really wanted to make a piece of art highlighting the story. So this story revolves and focuses around the life of an Indian student who has to go to school, do homework, extracurricular activities and manage all of this at the same time. Such a monotonous and a hectic schedule could be a lot for anyone to take in, and in this story I have tried to focus on a student who goes through the same struggles of life under the pressure and influence of his parents. In this situation, the mind of a child has nowhere to explore, it has nowhere to let out its thoughts and think out wild. This child is confined to the walls of his school and home and has nowhere to explore, which is why the mind of this student decides to explore at night when the student is sleeping. It visits various dimensions, various realities, breaks the fourth wall, and does everything it can to let out the feelings in the mind of this human so that he can wake up peacefully the next day. This comic strip of mine explores one day in the life of such a student. In my case, the name of the student is Jim. He goes to school every morning at 7 am, heads to swimming practice after that, comes home, does his homework, and heads to bed. He has no time in the day to do anything else for his entertainment and to let his thoughts out. To start off with the comic, I took 4 pages and made 4 boxes inside. If you want to make a comic, the height and the width of the boxes can be anything you want them to. You have total creative freedom in this aspect. I started sketching inside the panels and filling in Jim's world. I decided to show the first 8 panels of the comic book as the day where Jim goes to school, swimming practice and does his homework, and the latter part of the comic was where Jim fell asleep and his mind was exploring his thoughts in his dreams. While drawing, I decided to add a little twist to the comic. Towards the end of the comic book, we see Jim falling from sky towards the ground, and as he hits the ground, he wakes up from his sleep. And this panel where he wakes up from his sleep is same as the first panel in the comic strip, in which we show Jim waking up from his sleep, making this a loop, which shows that every Indian student is stuck in a monotonous cycle which is called the education system and cannot escape it. Then I started the inking of the comic. This was definitely my favorite part of the entire comic. I took my time with this. I took over 4 days to finish inking the entire comic strip. I created new light sources in every panel just to show variation. I also made shadows using stippling and line work. Now for the dreams Jim was experiencing. I tried to create different dimensions and multiple realities in the dreams of Jim. I just wanted to shed light on how much our mind can actually imagine and explore when we give it the chance. I also decided to color some areas of the panels completely black. This was giving a really nice effect. For the first dimension, I created a mirror dimension. This was taken directly from the Doctor Strange comics. In this, Jim is just shocked looking at himself in the mirror in the same dimension while floating. In the second panel, I created a dimension which was full of hands. These hands were holding Jim from both sides. I wanted to leave this as a metaphor for society, like for example when you have a creative idea or you decide to do something out of the box, society tries to pull you down. For the third dimension, I just wanted to show a scene in which Jim is falling and the background is full of spiral waves and a void sort of a thing. This was also inspired from PewDiePie's background, which he famously uses in all of his videos. For the fourth dimension, I couldn't really think of anything which would look that expressive on paper in black and white, so I just decided to go with a dimension with rainbows and clouds and gave Jim a happy expression. The fifth panel is where Jim is actually still in his dreams but enters the real world. I tried to show the same background which was seen in the earlier outdoor shots. This would just add to the realistic effect of this dream. We see him falling from a height, and in the next panel he is about to touch the ground. The last panel is the panel where Jim wakes up from his dream. This is the same panel as the first one, showing that a comic strip is an endless loop. I decided to name the comic Unbounded since it is a synonym of the word loop, and I wanted to put that across as simply as possible. For the cover page, I decided to replicate a panel which was already existing in the book, in which Jim is falling into a deep space or a void. I think a black background with a white human figure looked really cool. I also added some arrows which indicate a loop around Jim, and I wrote Unbounded with a very simple font above that. I decided to go with a very normal skinny body and an expressive face just to make it easier for me while sketching and inking. The distinct features which I decided to give him were the hair and his eyes. This could distinguish him from any other character and avoid complications in the drawing. hope you guys like this original idea. It is one I've been working on for a very long time, and also this is a new form of a video for me. This is the first time I'm doing a voiceover, so let me know how you guys like it and should I make more of these in the future. And thanks for watching guys. Bye bye.